Microsoft Translator. I've been using this daily since I returned from my training, and the students that need it have started coming right on into my tech lab and grabbing the headphones with microphone to get started. As a teacher, I use my Android phone so that I am more mobile with it, but there's lots of options with that. When I open the app on my phone, it looks like this. I can click on the microphone to start a conversation. I can type in something. I can take a picture of print and it will translate for me, or I can start a conversation. When I'm teaching a class, I choose the conversation. I press the start. My name's saved. My home language is English, and I press enter. When I press enter, it provides me with a conversation code, both one that students can type in and a QR code that I could hang, and students, if they're using their own devices or iPads or tablets, they could scan, or even parents, as they come in your room, could scan these and become a part of the conversation if needed. In my tech lab, the students don't have devices. We have desktop computers, so we use the website, which is translate.it. Type in translate.it. It brings you to this website, and again, we're on desktop, so they can't take a picture of the QR code. They type in the conversation code. And every time you close a conversation and go back in, it's going to give you a new conversation code. I'm going to say the student's name is Test, and then I come down to the third box, and it's the language that they need. These top languages are written and spoken to the student, so they don't have to be able to read their home language. And then the text below are only in text. It won't be read to them. Haitian Creole is only in text version, so they would have to be able to read it. I'm going to keep it on Spanish because that's the one that I use the most. And as a student, I would enter the classroom conversation. As a teacher, I would enter on my phone. You want to make sure that the students are allowing the microphone. They'll get a pop-up on their student device, their student computers, and you'll know that it picked up their microphone if you see this red dot for record. Once the students are in, I like them to click on the settings and just have all of this turned on, because then the students are able to also see the English version below, which I think is helpful. And it's also helpful for me because if they come back to me and say they don't understand, I can read the English version and see if the conversation was picked up right, because nothing is 100%. Going back over to my presenter mode on my phone, I like to click on my settings, and I like to turn the presenter mode on, because then it picks up my conversation the entire time. So the student hears me talking and engaging to other students, hears other students' questions. So I like to turn the presenter mode on. I can also mute others in the conversation, lock the conversation to prevent people from joining. And I'm going to go back to my conversation.
A mi conversación. Voy a ir mejor si tú.
Okay. So I tapped on my microphone to mute it. You can see that it picked up correctly the first part of the conversation, and then it started to pick up background noise as I was recording. So again, not always 100%, but it's very accurate, pretty close. But having the English below, I'm able to see when there is a mistake in the translation, and I can go back and try it again. And I will say, when the students are speaking back to me in their native language, the dialects are different from place to place with their versions of Spanish. So at times it doesn't always pick up the correct thing for the student when they're talking back to me. But for the most part, I'm able to understand and relay the information. The other great thing about Translator is the students can download this conversation when the class is over. So even your native English speakers can use this as a tool of class notes to go back when they're stuck or need help with homework or whatever. And students are able to join in the conversation by clicking on the microphone and it will record what they say. So there's my students part of the conversation. It's a great tool and super helpful.